Don't do.
Hello everyone and welcome to Travelling with the Stars, and we're podcasting away and my wife just hit me. Hello Karen.
Hello, Ty.
Why'd you hit me?
Because you're being annoying.
I'm always annoying.
I know.
Okay.
Sometimes you need to.
What are we going to do in this podcast?
Is this podcast? I think we'll visit Munich.
Oh,
or
Munchen.
Yes.
We like Munchen.
We do. And so what do we know about Munich?
Great beer.
Yes, and it was founded in 1158.
Good food.
It's the capital of Bavaria in southern Germany.
Good beer.
It's the third largest city in Germany.
Some great food.
Yes, it holds an annual Oktoberfest, which opens in mid-September, ending in early October.
And the clock.
Yes, it has the Glockenspiel in the Old Stout, or the Town Hall, which we call them. And you'll talk about their Hofbrauhaus later, I'm assuming.
Yeah, good beer.
Munich is an excellent example of traditional Germany. And did you know that skyscrapers are not allowed to be built in Munich? Which is good.
I was thinking about that. You sure?
Well, that's what it says. Research said they're not allowed to build them, and I can't, if I think about it.
Was it there or
maybe
Berlin
it's
that had
old
the TV station?
Berlin had the big TV tower.
Right.
I don't know.
I know.
I don't recall seeing any skyscrapers in the
Let me get
old
back to you
town
on that
area.
one. I'll have my people contact your people.
And the football club, Bayern Munchen, is Munich's well-known football team, which plays in the Bundesliga and European League. And by football, we mean...
Football.
Soccer.
Yeah, football.
Yes, I know, but in Australia, football is rugby league, I think.
Right. Move
So
along.
Munich is a very tourist-friendly city, especially if you like sampling all sorts of beers, trying gastronomic delights, because you can do both at the Munich Food Market or the Victualien Market, as the locals call it. And victuals is an old word for food.
But even in the big area near the clock,
Yeah,
there's
well,
had
that's
some
not
good
far.
restaurants and everything in there as well.
That's not far from the food market. The market, as with most central markets, is a meeting place for people and has been for over 200 years. Mostly selling food and flowers. Does have a few bars there now, a few taverns, beer gardens with outdoor seatings nearby. And if you want to ensure you don't miss the good bits when you visit the markets, there are guided tours which are very good. The tour is called the Victualien Market Tasting Tour.
Oh, how surprising.
Yes, the produce is from farms and market gardens throughout Bavaria. Next to the market stands St. Peter's Church, which is a great landmark to use if you can't find the markets. Just find St. Peter's Church and round the front of that you'll see the markets. Munich's first cemetery was also at this church. So if you're feeling energetic after your food and beer from the market, climb up the 300 steps to the top tower of St. Peter's. It'll work off that heavy German lunch. We ate a light lunch, though, didn't we, at the edge of the market? So we didn't take the stairs to the top.
Mainly because we looked at it and went, nah, I don't think so.
Not today. It seems we may have missed an opportunity to see the whole of Munich, though, because you can look south and see the Alps. They'll appear before you. As well, you can see the Isar River in the east, and northwest of the city, the Olympic Stadium reaches towards the sky. Oh, well, next time.
Actually, yeah,
Maybe.
well, how can I put it? After our recent trip, including Romania and a few others, we're very much in step with steps.
We are, aren't we? I sort of missed them. The Marienplatz is a beautiful square, and the new City Hall, or the Rathaus, which was built over 100 years ago,
I love how they call it the Rat House.
Rathaus, is the most famous building on the Marienplatz. I've visited Munich, 3 times, and always must be in the Marienplatz for either 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. That's when the equally famous Glockenspiel bells ring out, signalling the beginning of the duel of the Bavarian knight and his Lorraine enemy.
Not Lorraine again.
Lorraine, yes, or Lorraine. The Bavarian knight, using a lance, dislodges the Lorraine rival. And next,
His brother's named Lance.
and next is the dance of the barrel maker. And these animated scenes have been amusing spectators for over 100 years. In the spring and summer months, the figures will also appear at 5 p.m.
We've been amused on a number of occasions. That was normally our excuse to go and sit and either have coffee or even hang around afterwards and have
have
Wine
drinks.
and beers and lunch.
Exactly. In the evening at 9 p.m, the angel blesses the child of Munich whilst the night watchman blows his horn. So that's if you're there at 9 p.m, you'll be able to see that little display. We were in Munich in June this time, staying at the Novotel München city. We were a pleasant 20-minute walk across the Isar River to the old town. The U-Bahn was a short walk around the corner from the hotel, if you prefer the train ride.
I think we did both.
We did. Yeah, it's always good to try both. The day we went to the Marienplatz, it was also Corpus Christi Day. And as with many places in Europe, on a Saints' Day, it's also a public holiday. So the square was really crowded. The celebration to Corpus Christi was almost over. I'm a little sorry we missed it because we saw the tail end, which made me think the whole pageant would have been amazing to watch. So that's a thing for people travelling to Munich and to any place in Europe is to check out their Saints' Days or their public holidays because there's always lots happening.
Look at what's on while you're there.
While you're there, that's right. Once people started to disperse after the pageant, the outdoor restaurants put their tables and chairs onto the square ready for customers. And we chose a table at the front of the Marienplatz under an umbrella. Food was very good, as were the beers, I'm told.
The beers are always good.
I didn't have any beers.
I did.
I'm not a beer drinker.
Nor have I.
We spent a lot of time in and around the Marienplatz area, as this was the oldest area in Munich. There's also lots of beer halls and an abundance of restaurants serving authentic German dishes. I chose a salad for dinner, and the salad that I was served was huge. In fact, all the meals were huge. So
I kind of like
another thing. Yes, most males and some of my friends, females, actually like large meals.
Frank and I put pay to them.
Yes, I didn't. So, Thai and Gorging Gons ordered German sausage, and the dish was also served with a very large side salad. Several beers, a wine, and lots of food ingested. It was time to walk it off. Such a warm, pleasant evening, and the streets were relatively busy too.
I was feeling no pain by that stage.
Oh, but I was okay. I wasn't a big wobbling.
Glad one of us was.
Of course, when in Munich, you must visit the famous Hofbräuhaus. We did and had a great evening of music, beers and food again. The Oompa band was very good and lots of fun. The waiters were amazing with the amount of beer steins they could carry. Most carried 12 steins at a time.
The ladies between 10 and 12, the men 12.
Yeah.
6 in each hand. I don't know how they do it. I could not do it.
I don't either, no. I wouldn't even attempt it. I'd have beer everywhere.
I'd have to lie on the floor.
Munich's neighbourhoods are quite different, with lots to experience if you have time. Apparently there is a test you can take to see which suburb or neighbourhood suits you best. For instance, Middle Eastern cafes will be found in the Bahnhofsviertel. The west end of Munich, you'll find Asian temples. Decide which neighbourhood suits you and head off on a mission of discovery and adventure.
What's the one with the most beer halls?
Middle of town, I'd say.
Well, that's where I'm staying.
Oh, right. Think you've had enough of Munich and you need to find some fabulous castles? Well, that's easy. Take a drive or a train ride or a guided bus tour from Munich to Neuschwanstein. You won't be disappointed. Ludwig II, King of Bavaria, had this beautiful Neuschwanstein castle in Hohenschwangau built as a holiday home. Amazing holiday home, isn't it?
And not bad, little caravan spot.
Although he died before it was finished, he passed away in mysterious circumstances. Some say he was drowned in the Schwan Lake by disgruntled villagers. They didn't like him spending all the money on the castle. Ludwig, who became king at 18, was also known as the Mad King. He was a little reclusive, but was very wealthy and owned many properties. So perhaps that was a reason.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, don't know. Neuschwanstein means New Swan Castle. A fascinating structure commenced being built in 1869 and completed around 1886. This castle was not constructed as a stronghold, even though it sits very high atop a rocky outcrop. It's a romantic castle, medieval, but very romantic, especially where it sits. It had a lot of forward-thinking comforts for its time. The castle has central heating and an exceptionally large kitchen. I remember when I visited inside, I was like, oh my God, how big do you need a kitchen? But it was all centrally heated as well. So
that was one of the first castles in Europe to be heated, wasn't it? There was one, and maybe that other one
Oh,
in
I don't know.
Romania.
That one in Romania may have, probably around the same time, I think. So, yeah. But they
When you're
were
thinking, that was back
forward.
in the 1800s?
Yep, 1800s. So if you intend to visit Neuschwanstein, you should purchase your tickets in advance, at least 2 days before you visit, perhaps earlier, if you know the date you're going to be there. It's extremely popular these days, more so than my first visit, and tickets to all the attractions in the town sell out very quickly. Buying in advance means you'll also skip the line once you arrive at Neuschwanstein. It used to be free to wander the grounds of the castle, but sadly that is no longer the case. They've now sort of enclosed that main courtyard a bit and
Yeah, you
charge
used to be able to go in there and walk. I think the first time you and I went, we could walk around in there, and then this time you could only get to the gate.
Yes, so all a money-making venture, I suppose, to keep the upkeep, keep the castles in good state. To reach the castle, you can either walk, taking up to an hour. It's very steep, it's winding, but it's paved. You can take the horse-drawn carriage or take the bus, which will drop you around the side of the castle, but you still must walk about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your level of fitness. That the bus that takes you up to the top and the back, where you could get a good view over that if you walk to the bridge.
Yeah, probably, as long as they're not doing works on it.
Yeah, that's right. They were doing works last time we were there. We decided to take the bus and walk back down to the town after our visit. Getting from Munich to Neuschwanstein, you take a train to Füssen, then a bus from Füssen to Neuschwanstein. Hire a car and drive yourself. There is parking in the village. To get the best view of Neuschwanstein, head around the back, as I just mentioned.
One of our associate producers has decided she wants up on the desk while we're doing this.
Cat fur in my
Cat fur in your water.
so
Well, could have been worse. Could have been wine.
Yeah, it could have. So, as I was saying, yes, to get the best view of Neuschwanstein, head around the back and follow the trail to Marienbruck, a bridge that looks down onto the castle. The view is quite amazing. I was lucky to do this the first time I visited and had absolutely no scaffolding, nothing in my way to take a good photo. But this time there was no access to the bridge, and it was because it was under repair.
And what time you and I did it, we had access to the bridge, but they had all scaffolding in front of the castle.
Yes. So standing on the bridge is not for the faint-hearted.
Why?
There's a big... Well, some people don't like heights, and to stand on that bridge where you've got nothing on either side of you except a big valley, that can...
I didn't think it was a problem.
Well, we don't, but other people might.
Can you talk to the microphone, not me?
Yes, okay.
Sorry, everyone.
Of course.
I'll get used to it eventually.
Of course.
She's only been doing this for 2.5 years now.
Of course, there is another castle in the area, and that is Are you... Stop pushing the microphone. Hohenschwangau Castle.
Well, the microphone's got to chase you if you don't chase it.
Where Ludwig II grew up, and Linderhof Palace.
Who?
Linderhof Palace is also there with it.
Linderhof,
yes. Yeah. A full day of sightseeing is at your fingertips. No. Neuschwanstein was used by Hitler as a place to store thousands of works of art, which would be used in an art museum he planned to open after the war, which of course didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
I'm not sure if the art's still there, if it's been given back to its rightful owners. If you want to stay in the village, there are several hotels available, and Füssen also has lots of accommodation. Back to Munich now. It's museums. If it's museums you're after.
The drive, by the way, just saying on that, we drove from Munich to there last time, didn't we?
We
and
did.
It was an easy drive.
Yeah, it's
nothing
an easy
horrendous.
drive. No. If you're comfortable with driving on the opposite side of the road to what you do in Australia or England or Ireland, then it's pretty good. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So, as I said, if it's museums you're after, Munich has at least 60, such as the Nymphenburg Palace, where the Bavarian royals spent their summers, the Museum Brandhorst, which is an art museum where you'll find some rare pieces by Andy Warhol, and who can pass up the Beer and Oktoberfest Museum?
Yeah. Do you get to
Me,
drink
probably, because I don't drink beer. The Munich Opera House, Bayerische Staatsoper, is in the top 10 of the world's best opera houses. If Instagram is your thing on holidays, here are a selection of the most Instagrammable places in Munich. The Maypole at the Vitruvian Market. It's huge and it is a great meeting place. A folk festival. Don't just wait for Oktoberfest. There's many more to capture around the place. Many more.
Many more.
More to capture.
Yeah.
The view from St. Peter's Church, will give you some good photos. And the Monet Terrace, the small gazebo in Greek style in the English garden. This is also the place to give naked sunbaking a try. The Germans do that
We
regularly.
didn't do that.
No,
Get your wrinkles out.
I don't think so. Wrinkles, stay covered.
Lots of beer.
Yes, lots of beer. That's a small sample. I'm sure you'll find many more amazing places Instagram worthy.
And if you find some that we haven't mentioned, you want to get them to us, grab us on Facebook. Travelling with the Stars. And look us up on Facebook and share away.
Yep, we'll put it on the podcast for you
Put it on. Yep.
if you want lots of people to turn up in that place. I have read
Especially with naked Germans.
I have read that people compare Berlin and Munich and often ask which one is best to visit.
Both.
But having been to both, I don't think they have much in common except the language. Each one has something different to offer the tourists. No fairy tale castles outside Berlin. Music still has the hallmarks of an old city, whereas Berlin is younger. And that probably is to do with the reconstruction of Berlin after World War II and further changes again after the fall of the Berlin Wall. We'll talk about Berlin and its attributes and what it has for the tourists next time. But now we'll move on to Stuttgart.
Stuttgart. Don't talk to me about Stuttgart. I wasn't happy.
And Stuttgart is the capital of Baden-Württemberg in Germany. And it was founded in the 10th century, so it's older than Munich.
Bloody push bike riders.
Do you want to tell your story, do you?
Okay, I'll tell the story. We are in Stuttgart and we wanted to go to the Mercedes, what would you call it?
Museum.
It's a big museum, but it was also a part of their sports factory and everything else. And we decided to go on a Sunday, and it was our last day we'd only had 2 days in Stuttgart. And we went to try and drive there, and all the roads were blocked off. So we thought, okay, we'll get a train. No, all the train stations were blocked off, all because of a damn push bike race in the city. So we could not get to one of the places that had been on our bucket list for a while to go and see the German factory and the Mercedes factory, and we couldn't get there. Was I happy? Not.
Neither was I. So we'll have to go back to Stuttgart.
Stuttgart, okay.
So Stuttgart sits on either side of the Neckar River, and it's an important railway junction connecting the Rhine and the Danube rivers. Stuttgart has one of the largest zoos and botanical gardens in Europe. So if you want to go and see it, that's a place to see it. One of the largest wine producing areas, so it has a large wine and fruit trade. Of course, as Ty was saying, the automotive industry is central to Stuttgart. And if you ask anyone, that's probably what they mostly associate Stuttgart with. People wouldn't think of anything else but the cars. So Porsche and Mercedes, under the banner of Daimler, are manufactured here. The Mercedes plant employs around 18,000 staff. Porsche has two main plants, Stuttgart and Leipzig. BMW, Audi and Volkswagen originated from here too. And as Ty said, the Mercedes Museum is in Stuttgart, as is the Porsche Museum. And so
Gon's got to go to the Porsche Museum, but we didn't get to get the museum.
We dropped him off and then we tried to get to the Mercedes one. Unfortunately, we couldn't. So he was very lucky. He was very smug about going to see his Porsche because we didn't get to see our Mercedes.
But he doesn't own a Porsche.
No, he doesn't. Whereas I'm lucky enough to drive a little Mercedes, aren't I?
You are, do you?
So there you go.
I've got a 1972 Honda.
You have not got a 1972 Honda. Gosh, you tell stories. So anyway, we thought, oh, well, we'll find something else to do. And so I'd looked at other odd museums that Stuttgart might have, and we found a Schwein Museum, which is a pig museum to those that don't understand any German. It was a bit quirky, but could be worth a look. Well, we had to do something whilst we waited for Gorging Gons. We were his chauffeur for the day. We had to pick him up again. The Schwein Museum is in an old slaughterhouse or abattoir, so I guess probably appropriate. The museum has permanent displays and the occasional special exhibit, like any art or science museum. The museum tells the story of pigs along with gastronomy of pigs. Oh, and a few myths along the way. In this museum, you start at the bottom and work your way up the rickety floors to the very top. I'm sure it's educational. I'm ignoring you.
Right.
I'm sure it's educational for children as it gives a thorough insight into the popular farm animal.
Well, they've got lots of popular bits like bacon and
Pork. The walls, chops, pork chops. The walls are adorned with
prosciutto.
Lots of information on breeds, professions that related to pigs, such as butchers, breeders, etc. Also bits and pieces on the role of pigs in our everyday life, telling us such things as how the pig managed to end up as a piggy bank. There are over 50,000 pieces in the museum, including paintings, documents, posters, and of course, the piggy sculptures, which make up the bulk of the museum. There's a gambling room with human-sized pigs sitting at the roulette wheel, fluffy pigs, ballerina pigs, soccer-playing pigs.
I wanted to know what they were drinking when they thought of this idea.
I know, they must be drinking something. So one image that stayed with me is the mother pig on her back, legs in the air, holding a piece of glass and being used as a coffee table.
That's right, I remember that.
Flying pigs were popular.
Pigs might fly.
Yes, well, they were here. Princess pigs, soap holder pigs, salt and pepper shaker pigs, pig masks, Miss Piggy, and it goes on. There was also a police pig. Not sure what he could do. If you're a pig lover,
I'm not going to say it.
If you're a pig lover, collector, or just like quirky museums, put it on your list to visit if you find yourself in Stuttgart.
It was worth it.
It was a bit of fun. So the Schwein Museum is in Schlattlost Straße 2A, 70188 Stuttgart.
Oh dear.
You'll know when you reach it.
And if you can spell it, you're doing well.
You'll know when you reach it because there's lots of pigs and an old pink pig bus are on the grass verge.
On the glass verge. We're parking on glass. I'll give everyone a tip. Guess what? If you go into Google Maps and just type in Pig Museum, it'll give you the address.
Oh, look, I like giving people the address.
You like giving people the...
But do go with an open mind.
Oh, yeah.
For our stay in Stuttgart, we stayed at the Pullman Stuttgart Fontana Hotel, a 4-star hotel. The S-Bahn is 5 minutes walk away, but if you're going again, if you're planning on staying there, I would check that their air conditioning is working.
Oh, that's right. That was that night.
Yes. It was a very warm night.
About 30-something?
Yes. And the air conditioning wasn't working in the rooms or the hotel.
It was like Greek.
Yes, Shibroken. Yes.
Shibroken.
So, so that's Munich and Stuttgart.
Oh, well, that was very good. And we'll have to do Berlin soon as well.
Oh, probably, we'll put Berlin up. We'll do one on Berlin. Yes.
I've got to get used to talking to the microphone, don't I? You're talking to me.
Well, you look at me, so I look at you. I've always been
taught... Well, that's because I'm facing the microphone.
I've been taught to always look at people when they're speaking to me.
Okay. On that note, hope everyone enjoyed that little podcast. We'll get back to you very soon with another one. So it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me. And don't forget, if you've got something to say about our podcast, leave a comment.
Preferably a nice comment. You've been listening to Ty and Karen and Travelling with the Stars on Munchen.
And Stuttgart.
Oh, and Stuttgart. Bye now.
Bye.